G'day, welcome, episode 66 of the Early Crow, old school, no P-Rat today. He's off, at least he's working, so full credit to him, fair enough. This episode of the Early Crow is brought to you by Makita. Right now, get amazing bonuses on Makita XGT 40 volt and 80 volt max kits and combos. Visit makita.com.au for details. Makita XGT, more intelligent, more power,
more efficient.
More Makita. P apps. How are you, bro?
Good, mate. Good weekend. It was some good racing on the weekend. Unfortunate little injury on Friday night, which was a bit sickening and made my sort of put a dampener on the weekend with Errol getting injured with his ankle. But other than that, it was a nice weekend. It was my fiance was away on the weekend, so I was home alone and just watching the races and very chilled.
How, is she back yet, or are we going to have to wear that shirt all week?
No, I've actually did a quick little bit of a cleaning this morning just to get it all nice. She's back today.
How much did that cost you? You did it yourself?
No, I actually did it myself. Didn't have to do much. I didn't really cook at home, so it wasn't much to clean.
All right, we're going to start with the races, go through Sydney, then Melbourne. Then we'll talk about the Swans game and anything else that comes along. We'll start in Sydney. How'd the track race there on Saturday, Tom, at Randwick, at the Rail and the True, for the third time for us and the first time for you listening at home?
Yeah, we're off to a flyer. Track played exactly how we thought. Lanes 4+, off pace and midfield, mate.
Any wind?
Yeah.
Or was it just the way it
No,
was?
not that I know of. So it sort of does that a little bit at Randwick. Last time they were there, I think Shaggy was the only one that won leading. So no leaders on the day, very slow tempos, but good racing all day. It was good.
First race, the Skyline Stakes. This is for the Colts, the 2-year-olds. They are headed potentially to a golden slipper, some of these. Revelero was too good for Chrissy Lees and Jason Collette, Tom.
Yeah, it was. Sort of got the run of the race, 3 wide cover line, while Skyhook and Quietly Arrogant were trying to get some runs up the fence. Shaggy sort of laid in under pressure and popped and cut Kieran off, and then J-Mac going for that run, pushed Skyhook to the fence. They're the two you want to follow out of the race, Quietly Arrogant and Skyhook. Yes, Revelino was good, but did get the run of the race, while those others were trying to get runs.
What do we do with Comedy? Anything?
Pretty poor. Was back, not suited, obviously, with the slowly run race, but yeah, you'd like to see it hit the line a bit better than what it did.
Makes the run of Shaggy just appear even weirder to me. I thought like there was an issue with the horse, or the way it was being ridden. It was like it didn't look. It wasn't ridden. It didn't look like it was going as fast as they clearly were late. The sectionals home here are unbelievable. They're really, really slick. However, they're off a walk, so you need to sort of weigh that up when you're moving forward and looking at backing these horses in a golden slipper, where you're very likely going to see a decent to strong tempo.
Yeah, the only other thing I was trying to think of, does it need the rail? Because the last 3 times it's been on the rail, hugging it and going at a decent tempo. That's the only other thing I was sort of thinking of.
The next race is the Sweet Embrace. This is for the fillies, the 2-year-old fillies. Within the Law was enormous. Bjorn roared it in the committee room at Flemington, plastered all over the socials. Very sharp at the social media, Bjorn, but not as sharp as he is with his horses at the moment. Completely and still utterly airborne. How good is Within the Law? And just the grimness of this thing passing in at the classic sale last year, me rating it today. So I was a coward, and every time this horse wins, I want to kill myself. So allegedly, Tom, this race
it cost 30,000, didn't it? Just to rub it
passed
in
in.
more.
So
passed in.
like you could have even got it for less, but anyway.
Yeah, huge run. It's done this 2 runs in a row. Got back and hooned home. It's going to be tough for it to do that in the Rose Hill. At Rose Hill for the slipper, but definitely give itself a chance. It's drawn wide here and had to do it, but yeah, massive run. Of the runs that I want to come out of the race, they've obviously gone better than the Colts because of the slowly run tempo. Depends what way you look at it. Obviously, it's a different race, and they've run slow to sort of even fast to the 600. But the run I sort of want to take out of that race. Number 13, Autumn Blonde, was 3 wide, no cover, huge, still hung on. It was a great run on speed, and sort of the winner the runs come from midfield or worse. So that's going to the Magic Night in 2 weeks, which is a week before the slipper. There's 2 actually tricolours. The number 3, Artistic Venture, was the just unbelievable run. Back last, yes, they sort of was suited by the race, but you watch it closely, this horse is barely even off the bridle,
For
like
your
compared
man,
to other
Tommy
horses.
Charlton. We've got to
Yeah,
just bear that in mind if you're playing at home. There's just a hint of love there, so we've got to factor that in. But, yep.
yeah. But if you watch this horse closely, it is absolutely hooning and gets luckless late, and that's also going on the Magic Night. The start before this was luckless, back to the inside again. This thing needs to draw a gate, and I think it will win the Magic Night.
So they need to go to the
Um,
Magic Night to win enough prize money to go to the Slipper? Is that the
yeah,
go?
yeah. Backing up 7 days to the Slipper, I wouldn't have the stats, but I don't reckon it'd be any good because usually they come from the Todman and things like that. But geez, I reckon if this can get a run, yeah, I think it's around $101. Obviously, it's got to get a run, so you have $5 on it, 101. They're both 13 and 3 are both $101 for the Slipper because they don't have enough prize money. But if they do get enough prize money, I reckon they'll start around $20 in the Slipper. So have something each way,
There'll
five
be
each
enough
way.
content through the content creators out there to tell us if you can back up and win a golden slipper this week, or we can do the work ourselves. One way or another, I think you'll probably get an answer from us Thursday on the captain's run. The Guy Walter 400 metre Group 2 for the mares, so 4-year-olds and up. And did this thing essentially lead and just piss in? Amelia's Jewel? Did they gift it to J-Mac?
Oh,
Was there any pressure applied to the great man, the king of Sydney racing?
just wrapped it up in a bow and gave it to J-Mac. Especially Amelia's Jewel, like it sort of hasn't been it's got huge, it's had potential all along. Its SP profile is huge, but when it's sort of put on a bit of pressure and a bit of a bit of pressure in races, and does it really want to win and things like that? But you could have just given it the race, and yeah, it's obviously won well, and so it should have. It was the class horse of the field, just got absolute Christmas in front, and yeah, it was just too good in the end. Alsafina was in the 1-1. Is the luckless horse out of the race. It was 6s out to 10s first up, so a little bit of a watch on that, but it was sort of a complete forgive run. Kieran got shoved back in by a 3-wide horse and shuffled all the way back. So yeah, Alsafina, maybe watch next start, but yeah, Amelia's Jewel too good.
We spoke about it maybe last week's show. The Grouse Wait for Age Group 1 Victorian Spring Carnival form just keeps on standing up, and it'll stand up again when we get to it later on in the Verry Elleegant. But Amelia's Jewel started $10 and was beat 2.1 lengths by Mr. Brightside in the Champions Mile on Champions Day there at Flemington. The next race we're going to look at, Tom, is the Surround Lady Shenandoah. Some sphincters, they really tightened sort of the last little 300 there, didn't they? Like, surely not. And then Lady of Camelot just remembered that Gay and Adrian train it, and it was gritty and tough and said, I'm not lying down, I'm not taking this. And it was on. This would have anchored the crosses of this world's multis. This would have been a little sneaky leg in it, a little value add. And boy, oh boy, she had to be tough late, Lady Shenandoah.
Oh yeah, but it's full credit to Lady of Camelot. It's gone really good. It doesn't like Lady of Shenandoah's gone no good. They've run a good fast race, good solid tempo, gap third, but yeah, it was a good ding dong go. Lady of Camelot out to 1400 for the first time was really good. So yeah, I think Lady Shenandoah will obviously go on over 1600 and go better again, I reckon. There's a bit of like sort of query around the Wallace second up when you look at his POT stats, first up, second up, things like that. But Shenandoah was really good. I think we'll improve on that. Yes, it was. You just like to see a good will to win in a horse that really dug deep and got there in the end. So full credit to both horses. But yeah, Shenandoah got the job done in the end.
Also full credit to our man Zav, who's famous now for post-race sort of saying I tipped that when I wasn't on it fame. But he called this horse potentially having a picket fence preparation, and he's on track for that. What's really impressive about Lady Shenandoah is she's improved significantly her overall like legitimate ranking, the way I'd rate a horse, and I do rate horses. Yeah, she's found sort of 7 lengths on anything she's ever done before here. When given an actual test, she's risen to the challenge. She's probably 2 lengths off like the Wait for Age horses now. And you'd think she's going to find at least that as she gets out to 1600. So where Waller takes this filly is anyone's guess, but she'd be right in it against the Mr. Brightside of the world at Wait for Age. she'd probably start favourite versus Mr. Brightside if they met at weight for age in 3 weeks. Amazing horse, potentially. The next race, the Verry Elleegant, the Group 1, weight for age Victorian form stood up again. Via Sistina, Fangirl. In run, who do you want to be with? Like at the 4-600, say?
As soon as I got to like after 400 metres, I said Via Sistina because of the map position. And girl was half slow and Arapaho sort of cut it off and it had to go a pair behind Via Sistina and J-Max got that spot on it. So I was straight away Via Sistina, and then when it got to about 500 to go, I was on Fangirl. I think
you would have done so much money if you were betting in run and you were quick enough to like bet quickly, because there was like 6 strides where Via Sistina looked like she's thinking about this and she's not going to like give all of herself, and Fangirl was like had it cold, and then
I think you go back to the will to win. Via Sistina just wanted it. I reckon even if they swap, you would never know, but even if they swap positions, I still think that Via Sistina just has that want to just keep going and just the drive to the line. So you'll never know, but geez, it was a good race. Lindeman's gone really good in front, obviously suited to the race shape, but was very good. There's another one, Fork the Park, that actually ran really well as well first up.
That stands out when you just look at the numbers, doesn't it? Like that's a horse that had a big spruik on it off a Queensland Winter Carnival, maybe like 2-back carnivals. So not sort of last winter, the one before. I think it was aimed at like Caulfield Cups and things through this last spring.
Yeah, it was favourite. So I looked it up. It was favourite for the Caulfield Cup last year. Missed the Turnbull and then did a peck. So before, I think it won the. Let me go to it.
Sorry, might have won the Hollandale or the.
Yeah, it won really well. Second up last prep or something, and it was on towards the Caulfield Cup. Was favourite and then missed the Turnbull, and then they scrapped it.
Where do you think they'll go with it? Sydney Cup?
Yeah, well,
this is a horse that they're aiming at a 2,400 metre race, and it's done a really good job here over 1,600 metres. So you'd assume 2,000 plus horse. You'd assume, I think, maybe Sydney Cup. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably going to follow Via Sistina to the Queen Elizabeth, and then to the Randwick, I think, and then maybe go on to after that. Off the top of my head, I'm sort of guessing there, but yeah, it looks like it's in for a good prep. So it was pretty good last prep until it got injured. So wouldn't surprise me.
Race 9, you've got a black booker for everyone at home to get out and put into their own black books. Where's it headed and what is it?
Gringotts, huge first start. Was off a short spell. Was a really nice trial though. Got back off a very slow tempo, not suited. Really, really savage the line. Just wait for it to draw a gate. It was sort of slowly away, and it sort of cost itself. It's usually in the first 4 if it can draw a gate. So if it can draw a gate, get itself handy, land in the first 4. I thought it was really good first up. Can get out to 1,600 metres. Started $3.90 in the Ingham last year in a Group 2 last prep. Sorry, so it's amongst in this prep for sure.
And then in the last, you cut off. I think it was a pretty good day from us on the Eyes on Ponies slide. I mean, we delivered in all states. We were live running into the final leg of a multi in Melbourne. I think Peter Rapp might have stuffed up the quaddie again. Obviously, he's not here to defend himself, so he made an error. But what can we do about it? Nothing. You finish off in fine style with Kings Valley. That was dominant. You loved this. You adored this on the captain's run.
I reckon it was 340 captain's run into 270, and then it's absolutely stunk it up in the yard. Scuzz said, "No, don't want it. Can't have it." Scuzz said, "I can't have it," and looks like it's jumped in the pool before the race.
You get the greys.
And I'm gone, and it's 270 back out to 360, and I've obviously gone again. Even though Scuzz said can't have it, I was just like, nah, like it too much. And the other thing I was thinking was Scuzz hasn't seen it before, so I wasn't sure if it is usually like that, or but it obviously didn't matter, and it was over racing and run. It was, geez, it was all over the shop. My money was confetti, I thought, but it was too good in the end. I think it was a really good run, considering all what's going on. Over raced in run. Birdman was really good. Like I said, I think it needs 2,400, and that will get it next start and go very close. Start very short, I'd say.
Yeah, I thought it won real well, and it just sort of stamps that Revelier form, who won again in Melbourne. Let's head there now. Flemington. The rail might have been in the 2 metre, I'm going to guess. Yep, it was. I think a key note from the meeting, Tom, is that the firm ground late in the day has had an impact on certain horses that don't appreciate it. Our horse, Just Folk, it's retired, placed to Carousel. Arquana didn't let down. There'd be a few others off that I can't remember off the top of my head that you can sort of trust their SP, particularly the Arquanas. Just trust that SP and move on. Assume that they weren't suited. A really good day's racing. I thought the track raced really, really well. You probably didn't want to be back third on the circle races, but that's horse racing. Down the straight, they won from everywhere. We saw Shining Smile sit off the speed, but in the first clump of them there and win race 1. We saw Midwest lead all the way for King Kong, Mark Zara. Then we saw El Mazzillo come from way back, and Pivot City, nutless, gelded. A horse that promised the world and delivered nothing. I remember he won really well at Bendigo one day, came to town, was well backed and was playing, and he just kept on letting everyone down, and he delivered on Saturday without his nuts. He was a huge run, so he was back inside. I thought Flemington as a track raced really, really well on Saturday. Every horse got their chance. Also, a bit refreshing, I think, for Victorian punters. There was no massive wind and massive heat. It was just a normal day on a good track, and you could sort of bet with a bit more confidence than you had been. Revelier went on with it. He won again. To the eye, it wasn't his sexiest win yet. He was out to 2,000 metres. Again, he was a little bit soft late in betting. He was sort of $1.70 out of $2 Betfair late. But he won, and he won well. He's gone gently backwards off his sort of peak, which was an 800 metre run at Sandown 3 back. He's now 1, 2, 3, 4. He was 5th up, second prep. I don't know what they do with him, but you'd be considering freshening this horse now or giving him a genuine spell, I reckon. But as you saw with Kings Valley coming out and winning the last there at Randwick, and there's horses and stables running away from this thing, it is special potentially, and it's doing everything it can at the moment. Revelier's a proper horse, and what it does moving forward is genuinely exciting. Outside of that, what else do you want me to talk about? Shining Smile, God bless it. How's the betting on this horse? It was fucking amazing.
Sorry, I was on mute, Dicko. The trainer of Revelier.
Hang on, you want to talk about the trainer of Revelier? This is how old school he is first. Saw him on Friday at the sales, and old Butchie Bourne just sort of revs everyone up. He goes, Mark Zara didn't want to ride it, mate, because he didn't have a ride. He goes, I didn't even look, to be honest. Could have a Melbourne couple. Didn't even look. What did he say?
Because he's got hurdle on it, which is he's very loyal, which we love from an old fella. But he was saying that he reckons with more pace on, this is when you're really going to see the best of this horse.
Most likely, because he's proper. He wants tempo because he's a beast. Yeah.
Yeah, and he also said he's got the blinkers up the sleeve as well. If he wants to use them down the track as well.
That was a bit of a theme too at Flemington. Corey Parrish and Ryan Hurdle rode winners on Saturday, a Group 1 day at Flemington. Unbelievable. Like, truly fucking unbelievable. And we'll get to Corey's horse soon, which was potentially more exciting than even Revelier.
Bendigo to a...
Yeah, Seymour, Bendigo, Flemington, they stuck fat with Corey, and Corey delivered. It was a very good ride and a very
good
nice
ride, wasn't
it? A very, very exciting horse. Shining Smile, 260 out to 380, won really well. Full credit to the Hayes boys. This horse could have gone to a Blue Diamond on the quick backup. It was the same dead heater as Tentris, who ran second in the Blue Diamond. Great placement, good win, job done, and set us up for a glorious day. What else happened there, mate? I think
Where are we?
Midwest, God bless
Marble
it.
Marble Arch went huge.
Yeah. How aggressive do I be here with what I want to say? There's brain dead and there's just dumb, and you don't know if it's just like reckless or stupidity, but the tactics employed on Stapati, who started 360 at the $5 and then was revved beyond its brain to go forward because he thought he could get there because that's the sort of horse he was up in trip. That horse's prep's probably over. Same with Poison Chalice. Stapati went 13.5. No, let's call it. Stapati went about 14 lengths faster to the 600 than it did the start prior. It went about 15 faster to the 600 than it did before that, and about 9 faster than it went to the 600 at the start before that. Completely cooked the horse. Cooked Poison Chalice. They shouldn't have gone forward either. It didn't help our horse, Just Folk, and it set it up again for another Lindsay Park horse to thrive off the tempo, be in that sweet spot 1-1. Like Mick D's ride here looks genius on Marble Arch, and shout out to AJ, who's in the ownership, Airborne, our man. Had a winner there at Kyneton, who's probably more exciting than Marble Arch. Go watch the winner, race 1, Thursday, Kyneton. Half slow away, wide at Kyneton. It's the tightest track in Australia. Like, it is tight. It's like playing a Henson, perhaps. On the hill. You know how they drain at the end of the thing? Like, that's what it's like. And then it got bumped. It was unbelievable. And Jay Carter, she didn't even hit it. She just clicked it around the corner. I can't remember what it's called. A bit of shush, maybe. Lindsay Park like again. AJ's most exciting horse, more so than Marble Arch, who just won a group race. But Mick D's in the sweet spot because of the chaos from the other two riders out wide. If they don't come across, Mick D's exposed outside lead. Racing can be very, very, very sort of variable, and you can look good or you can look bad with things that you sort of can't control. I think Marble Arch deserved to win. Expect it. We backed it ourselves. I thought that Attrition was really good, and that's 2 really nice runs from that horse, that when it can't win, it's in an unwinnable spot. It's hit the line beautifully. Both starts this preparation. It's a proper horse. I don't know where Mitchie Freedman takes it, but it's going to be very hard to beat. They might aim right up next start. I don't know what they'll do. It was good. Plenty of ammo. Was better than it had trialled. It was a sound return for it. Place to Carousel is retired. Zardozi went super, and I thought Future History returned really, really, really well. This is a horse that wants a lot further, probably a tempo that it didn't want to see fresh. I like the way it got through the line. Marble Arch, full credit to it, great win. Attrition, the horse to follow out of the race, but Future History going super. Australian Guineas, Dom Sutton, and our man Fly. Fly, Kangar, Dom Sutton. There's love a camera, love a story. It was a great day for racing. It would have been better if Kappa 39 had a one for everyone, including us. Apparently the Wiz was there in leather tight pants. It wouldn't have been comfortable, and the scrotometer would have been off its head back in the day. 12th man, like, it would have been not a pretty sight down there for the old Jats crackers of the Wiz. For Roche, I cuddled it, and I think we spec'd it gently, like if you're betting and laying everything off the prices. I didn't cuddle it enough though, and I got away from my own rules of SPs. This thing was heavily backed in the CS Hayes. It mapped well again. It ran well again. I underestimated Savage Lee, who was really good. I thought Gold Rush Guru was a really good run. I thought she was a pair or two further back than she needed to be winning. She's a stayer. She was on a stayer, and she needed to be a little bit closer. She doesn't have a turn of foot of some of these sharper horses. Seapals, Blake Shin got too far back on this horse. It was a chaotic race shape. Point and shoot, missed the start, held up key stages. It was very good for your man Beyond late, like really strong through the line. And the rest of them probably, had runs and days they'd rather forget. Feroche was really, really good, and it's just the old SP profile in the lead up race. I didn't pay it enough respect. And shout out to Martin Harley, who rode Savour the Dream 3 wide, no cover the entire, and then dropped the whip at the 250. And that horse still had the audacity to stick its head out and only be beaten 6.5 lengths when it covered probably 6.5 lengths more than the winner. So if you're a Savour the Dream man, stick fat. it was an enormous run. I don't know what we do with horses like Henline, run last, beaten 10 lengths. I don't know. Red Aces was poor for Nick Ryan. I thought it underachieved. Then Dola was half wide early. I don't think it was a very good ride at all from Luke Curry. He could have kicked up and sort of got the back of Martin Harley on the 3 wide horse and been in that sort of winning zone. I think Nandola might be a 1,400 metre horse.
Gold Rush Guru coming to Sydney, I hear.
Yeah, it's flying. It was very good in the CSAs. That's the other thing. So there's the Ferocious, the Sea Pals, the Royal Insignias. Those horses, this was sort of grand final day, I think. The Gold Rush Gurus, the Red Aces, Henlines, these horses are aimed at sort of 2,000 metre races, I think. And then there's the horses in between. Well, I don't know where they go, but I really liked Gold Rush Guru's run again. I reckon it's a bet wherever they want to take it. It's just that horse we know it can stay because it's won a derby. We know it's going well because we've had 2 races where it's done a good job, and it can hold a position forward in midfield. So it's got a lot of things that are in its favour heading forward this preparation. That's a Gold Rush, a Guru.
The English sprint Dicko Al Morzillo was huge off the 56th day let up down the straight. Willow on board was beautiful ride. We were on. What do you think of that race?
I thought this was a glorious straight race for big prize money with like a lower level of horse. You look at the all-average benchmark and you transfer that to your own rating. There's no superstars here. But they were like 10 abreast down the straight. There was horses everywhere. It's chaos. There's clearly a little bit of a sweet spot just off the speed and in the grandstand side. That was El Morzillo and Daggers. Hot Diggity Boom's done a good job from the inside, I thought. Pass marks to Certain Rise, Reserve Bank. Probably the run of the race is a horse right down the bottom with a random sort of profile. Was first up here. It's a filly by Street Boss for Mick Shepparton from Geelong, My Zephyr. Almost had a little bit on it because I've just finished reading that Red Hot Chili Peppers book. But Dan Yendall rode it, started 200 to 1, and it savaged the line. The 6th fastest last 200 metres of the meeting, My Zephyr, first up. This is a horse that started $9 and got beaten second up by Express Yourself at Kilmore last preparation. So, wow. And they took it to 1,600 metres last prep. So, I don't know where they're going to take My Zephyr, but it's going to be in for a nice enough preparation, I reckon. El Morzillo was really well ridden and glorious little fattener for a great day there at Flemington. We absolutely filled up and started the month the way we want to start a month, and it could have been fatter and it should have probably been fatter. I think I'm kind of we're conflicted and near at the same time because we love the great man Warwick, who's we've already mentioned. He would have been sweating the lux in his tight pants, but he kind of went the early crow, I reckon.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he definitely went the early crow. He got excited.
Yeah, we were on Kappa 39 and that hurt. But yeah, El Morzillo was really, really, really good.
If you do want to get all Dicko's mail, make sure you because obviously he's got his subscriptions, can't put everything on the early crow. Make sure you sign up to his subs, and you'll get all rated prices on every horse, every race. So if you do,
like
if
6
we talk
days
about
a
a
week
horse,
too at the moment.
Yeah, and it's nearly every day. So make sure you sign up to that. Probably the last race we'll touch on, Dicko. Race 5, really, really nice looking horse. Scalato, lightly raced. It's come from Seymour to Bendigo, I think it was, to Flemington. Started 360, backed in. What are your thoughts on this race? Clean Energy is another one you probably could look at as well.
Yeah, I feel like this is a proper race. It's not a massive time. The 7th fastest last 600 of the day. It's a horse that I think still learning. Like, full credit to them. Lee and Shannon Hope have stuck fat with Corey Parrish. This is its 3rd run this prep, 3rd run of its career. It's won all of them. Lindsay, the Cotton King, was all over it first up at Seymour. It was short enough and won really, really well. Bendigo, second up. And to be honest, Corey stopped me betting the horse, so therefore I didn't bet into the race. We found it off the sheets, the model, and I was just like, I don't need this in my life. We bet a lot on Saturday, and that's a decision I made. But he rode the horse really well, kept it together, and I think what can happen too, it's a little lesson for us all. You overthink a little bit these green horses in shit races where they're exposed so early, they're going too slow for how brilliant they are. He was not as green here. This filly was not as green here because the tempo was better. It's just running where it wants to run in the pack because it's a really fast, good horse. I think we can all sort of overthink that when they come to town with a greenish sort of style and racing pattern. Very nice ride, very good win, and a very, very, very progressive filly. He
was good, wasn't he? Because obviously he didn't want it to let it hit the front too early as well. But down the straight, he sort of cuddled it, and in the last 100, he really got it through. So it's a great ride. Kind of
like the reverse of what that young apprentice did yesterday in the last race at Bendigo. If you want to go watch that, when she had a little look and then got dusted on the line.
We don't want to talk about that.
Crook. Bit of Astrid Street sort of vibes about it.
Oh, mate. I know. I thought I got the bob as well.
So did I. Because it was dinner time. So I watched it, bolted, and then I could just feel it coming.
Clean Energy. Obviously had some good form around Lady Shenandoah last prep. First up, sort of did look the winner, and then sort of maybe that 300 and something days off might have got it late.
Yeah, I reckon it's gone all right. Like, for it. 10th fastest last 600 of the day. First up. It's only ever had 3 starts. It's definitely got some sort of scope, hope for improvement. First up this prep. I don't know, starts $3 here. It's got that Lady Shenandoah form. It's certainly going to be rock hard in the market wherever it goes next time. And I don't think you can't be harsh on it.
Yeah, nice. Does that wrap it up for the racing? Anything else you want to talk about? Any black bookers come out of the meeting?
Black bookers out of the meeting. Very, very good question, Tom. I thought in the last race, I don't know where they're going to take this Ocean Beyond, but it's flying. It keeps running good races. Euphoric was a really good run out of the last. Euphoric and Ocean Beyond. And I'll just click on a race and I'll find one to follow. Let's go to, say, race... I don't know, what do you want? Race 7. We've already done it, but Attrition. Attrition's a genuine black booker. That's 2 runs this prep that have been really, really good work. I don't know where those sectional times will rank versus the day. They won't be good because it was such a brutal tempo. They went, to put it in context, they went 13.4 lengths above the all average to the 600. So that's a real test. Attrition's a proper horse, so he relishes that, and he's in for a really good preparation.
Nice, mate. That wraps up Eyes on Ponies.
Brought to you by CTW Excavations. They go where the big boys don't. Find them on Instagram. Get in touch. I assume you'll get some of the great stories all time when he just lights up a little bung after he's done his first little bit and starts ripping the smoker, asking what you want. He'll tell you whatever you need to know. CTW Excavations. Find them on Instagram. Footy time. Friday, the boys went up pretty late too. Late start. Like to start past my bedtime. I wanted to see the sort of meters the crust covered late. As a big night for him on the tank, I thought. The Swans went up and they played the Gold Coast Suns. Started really well and looked very, very sharp early, Tom.
Yeah, it was good. Last week we started really sharp as well, and flowed on to this week. We'll sharpen their hands. Really, really good to see early on, especially in pre-season. So sets us up for a good round 0 this week against the Hawks. But obviously a dampener of the night was Errol getting injured. He had surgery yesterday and will be out for at least a couple of months, you'd think. Probably don't quite know because it's such a big injury. But yeah, you'd think at least a couple of months, and he'll be sorely missed along that wing position midfield. So, but give someone else a go, and an opportunity comes. So there'll be a young kid that come in. Not sure who will come in yet. But yeah, it's obviously a dampener, but give someone else a great opportunity to come in and hopefully get a few games.
It was almost like a hip drop tackle. It looked bad when it happened before he even got sort of hurt, because if you watch enough rugby league, that's how they sort of all go down. Will he hang around the club, or will he venture to like Arizona or somewhere tropical and a bit special to get a little bit of extra treatment, some high altitude stuff? Will he milk those titties?
Well, it's Errol, so you'd spend it.
Probably not America, so we're probably thinking, if I was a betting man, which I am, I'm thinking it's going to involve a Premier League club.
That wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. But he's actually, here's the sort of how much detail goes into what the sort of physios and doctors think about. There's the best surgeon in Australia for ankles in Brisbane, and he's obviously broke his fibula, a bit of syndesmosis and stuff as well. So he's actually stayed in Brisbane, didn't fly home with the team, stayed in Brisbane to get surgery there, and then he will obviously stay there for a few days as well. So it's sort of, if you're going to look at a positive out of it, he's up there already, got the surgery straight away on Monday, 2 days later, and he'll be back later in the week. I think there's tropical storms.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I don't know how he's.
Might have to get like a big like Land Cruiser with a couple of the boys that provide good value just to sort of drive him home. I've done that drive not from Brisbane, but from Splendor after we put ourselves to the absolute limit. I remember Kenny Clarkson, who listens every week. He was I don't know who would be amongst your group now, but he was that bloke that just like he set the pace early and never let up. And he rolled in about, like, we were up there for a week. He rolled in on the last night at about 10 a.m. and the car left at about 10:15. Didn't help with any clean up, anything. And about 45 minutes in, he's basically in his undies, just in world of hurt. And we had a luxury car, and you could turn up everyone's individual conditioning.
Yeah.
So as he'd pass out, because we were all filthy with him, because he didn't clean up, you'd turn up his heat.
Oh, no.
And then after like 10 minutes, he'd wake up sweating, but you'd turn it down when he started to move. Did the whole way home from Byron.
That's gold. That's good. There's another. I used to live with Colin O'Riordan, and they played in Darwin the Twos one year. Punctured a lung in the game. Couldn't fly back. Had to drive from Darwin to Sydney.
How? What way? What did he go?
I don't know, but he wasn't allowed to fly home, so he punctured his lung. So the welfare manager has drove with him for it's like a 2-day trip.
Nah, it's more than that.
Yeah, probably more.
My brother
probably
and
3.
I drove from Sydney to Darwin. We went via Adelaide.
Yeah, mate. I
don't know if you can go as a crow would fly. I think you got to go up or around or down and around.
He's Irish as well, so at least he got to see all of Australia. It's a bit different to the Irish green grass and the mountains.
What else did we take away from the Swans game Friday night? I thought big time up forward looked sharp. Big Joel Amati would be scary as to play against. It's like, can you fucking slow down and stop chasing so hard, mate? Like if I was on the other team.
Mate. Bloody some of those chases, honestly, I reckon he'd nearly be the quickest in our team over 100 metres. He's absolutely lightning once he builds up. But it's obviously good to see a big key forward chasing out on the wing and chasing him down. Tommy was really good up forward. I think he's going to be a really good forward for us. Just leads so hard, work rate's high. A couple of, obviously we had probably about 11 or 12 players out, so a couple of young kids. Corey Warner was really good. I think
and gets out a lot and really helps the other, the sort of more experienced left footer that I've forgotten his name, 16 maybe.
Yeah, Campbell, he was good, yeah. I think those two
they help each other, eh?
Yeah. Them two are probably going to play, which is good to see. They've had great pre-seasons. I think Gus Sheldrick was good in the midfield as well.
Yeah,
couple of Riak Andrew, who's Mac Andrew's brother, was good down back as a 18-year-old kid. But yeah, it was good to see all the young kids go well. And I think we had 11, 12 players out and got the job done. So
a little bit of aggression from that fella too. Doesn't mind just giving the little when they're running past, which I like to see. And I know you love.
Which one, Gus?
Yeah, Gussie.
Yeah, you don't want to run into him. He belts blokes. He actually knocked me out one day.
The little fella's gone down back. That's an interesting move, and it looks like it's working. Wicks.
Yeah, Wicks. He's gone real well down there. He's sort of found his own. He'll probably play on the small forward this week. The small forwards this week for Hawks. Not sure which one because they've got about 3 or 4 guns of them, so he'll be having his work cut out. But he's gone really well down there. Good user of the footy as well and smart. So that's what we need down there, which is good.
And I was lucky enough to get a FaceTime from you and the Cross on Saturday afternoon. He didn't look like he had any ice on those pins, which I was worried about. But our man, he racked up some Ks, and fuck me, does he not? He looks outstanding. Yeah,
he's in good nick. Him and obviously with the big 3 sort of out, Heaney, Warner and Goulden, not in the midfield. The other night, you sort of seen the JJ, James Jordan and Juzzy sort of shine. They're so underrated because they've got those other boys ahead of them. But if you throw them in another team, they're going to be the top midfielders. So,
and I know all the boys at the club listen to the podcast, and they love my sets because they know I know what I'm talking about when it comes to gambling on horses. Just listen up, boys, and like concentrate here. If you're playing golf or ping pong or anything, and the crust says let's bet, you say how much. If James Jordan, if he's never played golf before in his life, and he says let's bet, or it's ping pong, fucking close your wallet up and run. The bloke is so clutch. He's just clean, isn't he?
He's good, yeah. His set shots are pure as well. He's good.
Does
clean.
he golf?
No, he doesn't. No, he's probably been the standout this pre-season. If I had to pick one, to be honest, he's been elite. Like inside, outside, sort of tough, hard and tough inside. Gets the hands out. He's good. He's been really good.
I'd take him at evens to beat like you, Crass at golf.
No, he's good. He's very good.
And what are we going to do with the Crass with his set shots?
He's nowhere. He's the worst snapper at the club. Or like you should see him try to snap the ball. It's extraordinary. And left footer, but hitting on a lead, he's good.
Yeah. I think we've got to we've got to keep him doing what he's good at, and we've got to just reset and change everything else with the
I reckon he's too casual to set shots. He's real casual.
Nah, I reckon the opposite. He's almost like
Really?
like inside out. Like he takes say he takes 16 steps, I'd say take 5. Relax. He kicks like he's trying to kick 2 straight. I think he's so far inside his head. They'll just be bending around my body. That's AFL. That's the Swans. Round 0. Is that Friday night? Is it?
Yeah, Friday night. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had a dream last night that we pumped them.
Sounds good.
We'll finish with... We won't touch on Marty Sheargold because we're petrified of offending someone and getting upset and getting cancelled. What we will touch on is Las Vegas. The Rugby League. We had a Super League game. We had the Raiders pump the Warriors. Raiders look like super, super, super fit. Did you watch that?
Yeah. How many offloads and stuff were they playing? It was like they were really targeting that offload sort of play.
They were just fit as fuck. I don't know. I reckon they look
Ricky
really
Stewart's
good.
got them going.
They look really good. They look fast and big and strong out wide. Raiders look like they're in for a really good year. And that when the Raiders go good, the comp's good. Warriors look like they're going to struggle, and when they struggle, it's bad for the comp. So I don't know. They lost Big Fanua Blake, who went to the Sharks, and they played the Panthers, and he was enormous. He did do a really sketchy offload in the first sort of set, which the start of that game was just mistake after mistake, and the refereeing in it was probably even the biggest mistake. Ashley Klein made it all about Ashley again. But I don't know if the rugby league's counting arms instead of heads when they're doing their attendance numbers, but all I could see was a lot of spare seats, and everyone's telling me how packed it was. What do you think of Vegas? The idea of it, like my read is if they can afford it and they can manage it, the cost, and they're getting support from whomever to justify the expense, because it must be extremely expensive. There is real upside in rugby league versus AFL. But I reckon there's minimal upside in rugby league in America, because I didn't see anyone that I follow who's American in content and sport talk about it. The crowd looked thin, and it's an enormous expedition they take every year now.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Geez, it would cost a fair bit. I wonder if AFL would go over there, if the AFL would attract... I doubt they would attract fans as well, because it's just so different. But yeah, I think it's obviously... I reckon the players just obviously keen for that post-match, really. But yeah, it's a weird one. They would have had, 30, 40 there?
They said 45, but as a 65-seat stadium, the whole top was empty. I don't know. It's just making me... I don't know where to get the truth from anymore. We saw Trump and that JD Vance try and bully Zelensky. Who's in the right or wrong there? I don't know, because if you listen to one side, it's this, and the other side, it's that. You watch rugby league, and that was the greatest success of all time, but you're looking with your own eyes, and you're seeing there's no one there watching it. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what to believe anymore, or where to get the truth. Yeah,
it's a tough one. I don't really know how to... It'd be very interesting to see the Landies, what the books say, but it was they always say it's success, but is it actually?
Mm.
Geez, the Panthers, though, they sort of just stood up when they needed to again, didn't they?
Well, that game was grouse. There was so many mistakes early, but Cleary he looked bloody good. They looked sound. Yo was just thick and strong through the guts. But the Sharks were good. Sharks look like they're going to be pretty good to me. They just like that killer punch, but they might get it through this season. I reckon that's about us for the early crow. Teddy slept the whole way through.
Hello, Teddy.
We've done almost an hour's worth of content for you, recapping Royal Randwick Group 1 Verry Elleegant Stakes Day. We've done Australian Guineas Day at Flemington. We've touched on the Swans. We've looked at the rugby league. And I reckon that's about us. I will just... No, I won't say that because that'll get us in trouble. Hey, have a great week. We might see you again this week for a season preview. We might not, but we will see you for a captain's run Thursday as we look ahead at the racing across the weekend. Opening round Friday night. Our man back doing what he does best. So enjoy that look because that won't be him on Thursday night. It'll be buzzed up, and I'll be getting one in solidarity with my brother. I'll be getting the buzzy too, skin fade on the sides. Let's go.
Get Darth one as well.
Why not? He's all in. Oh, what? Should have heard Lenny yesterday. She goes, "Where's Paps?" We were watching rugby league. You're every sports person on TV.
Let's go.
That's the Early Crow, episode 66, brought to you by Makita. Gamble responsibly, 1-800-858-858, or visit the website. Bye for now.
Bye for now.